This morning, State of the State. Governor Evers set to make his address to Wisconsin later today. Our political reporter Will Keneally has a preview of what to expect. Plus, why safer classrooms, hallways, and auditoriums could be on the way for students and staff across Wisconsin.
And the winds have diminished, but the clouds have moved in. They're here to stay, but also we have some snow chances.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to News 3 Now this morning. It is Tuesday, January 24th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. Kelly Slifka's here now with your first warned weather forecast. Boy, yesterday it felt so good. That sun came out. It was just like you could feel just some energy from it.
Yeah, I was down on Monroe Street, and all of a sudden I'm just like, I'm going to just sit on the bench here for a little bit and soak that up.
Take it in.
Get that vitamin D going because it's going to be a while before we see the sun again, at least any substantial sun. But we do have the clouds here. It's not quite as cold as what we saw yesterday morning. Temperatures upper 20s to around 30 now. We've actually been climbing over the last hour. And it's not as breezy as what we saw yesterday when we had those wind gusts up to 20 miles per hour. There'll be less today, 5 to 10 generally this morning. A few higher winds up there in Wisconsin Dells and also Viroqua. So we are looking at the clouds. They're here to stay for a while. Then we've got snow chances, multiple. So that snow is going to add up throughout the week into the weekend. Then we got some Arctic air headed away this weekend, and especially next week. And it's going to be a prolonged cold snap, and we'll talk more about that coming up. But headed out to the bus stop, just looking at cloudy skies this morning. Temperatures in the upper 20s. Headed home, mostly cloudy sky, maybe a peak or two of sun. Temperatures pretty seasonable in the lower 30s.
All right, Kelly, thank you. 6:01 right now. Happening tonight, Governor Evers will give his annual State of the State address to the Wisconsin legislature. Political reporter Will Keneally has a rundown of what to expect and how this event helps set the tone for a new legislative session.
This will be the governor's first State of the State address of his second term. And as to where the state is now, we will likely hear the governor tout accomplishments from his first term. Some of what we heard on the campaign trail as the reasons to re-elect him. There'll be things like infrastructure and road construction. Also likely Democrats' case on the issue of abortion. They've been pushing to get an abortion referendum on the April ballot in the last few weeks. This will continue the governor's push to get Republicans to overturn the state's abortion ban. This is also the second in a series of speeches that the governor is giving in his first few months of his second term. We'll hear his budget address in coming weeks. So we'd expect to hear tonight a preview of that budget address. Think things like school funding and how to spend the state's budget surplus. The response this year will be given by the Assembly Speaker, Robin Vos. We'll likely hear him push back on the governor's accomplishments, saying that Republicans are the ones that deserve the credit, especially for the previous budget. We'll have more coming up in our evening newscasts previewing the governor's address, and you can watch the full speech online at channel3000.com.
Will Keneally for us. Will, thank you. The governor will deliver the speech at 7 o'clock tonight, and Republicans will have their rebuttal shortly after. More news now. Former Justice Dan Kelly now has 3 pro-life endorsements in this spring's Supreme Court race. He's running in a 4-way primary, including against fellow conservative judge Jennifer Dorough of Waukesha. Kelly says it is his judicial philosophy that has won the pro-life endorsements. He hasn't made any promises to the groups, though.
And so amongst those would be Wisconsin Family Action, Wisconsin Right to Life, and Pro-Life Wisconsin. And all 3 have endorsed me, not because I've made any commitments to them about how I would resolve cases, but because I tell them the same thing that I tell everyone else. When I decide a case, I set aside my politics and my personal preferences, and I follow the Constitution and our laws. And they say, that's the kind of justice we want.
For her part, Dorough has received the endorsement of a coalition of law enforcement officials so far. They face liberal candidates Judge Janet Protasewicz and Judge Everett Mitchell. The top 2 from the February primary will face each other in the April general election. The state agent charged in the shooting of Quadron Wilson is due in court today. Mark Wagner is charged with endangering the public, something his attorney argues there's no evidence for. Agent Wagner shot Wilson 5 times. Wilson survived. That investigation showed he was not armed. Wagner is scheduled for an arraignment at 11:30. Also due in court this afternoon, a Madison man charged with multiple counts of trafficking children and sexual assault. 36-year-old Zacharias Singletary faces 24 charges, including 1 count of strangulation and 1 count of child abuse intentionally causing harm. Singletary's charges come from an October criminal complaint when he tried to have sex with multiple teens at a convenience store on State Street. He has a status conference at 1:30. The trial of Marcus Randall L. continues this morning in Rock County. The state's case is now over in the double homicide jury trial. In total so far, we've heard from 44 witnesses throughout the last 5 days. On Monday, we heard from lead investigator with the Janesville Police Department. He said despite no murder weapon or DNA evidence directly leading to Marcus Randall L. as the killer, there was still evidence there to ultimately charge him with the crime.
Throughout that process, there were several pieces of information or evidence that we obtained over the course of probably from February 10th through August of 2022, when our last supplemental report was submitted with this case.
We've seen that evidence over the past week, from surveillance footage to text messages and personal accounts from family and friends about the early hours of February 10th, 2020. Today, Randall L's defense team will begin to call up their witnesses to the stand. The trial will resume at 9 o'clock this morning. We will continue to follow it until a verdict is reached. Developing now at 6:05, police in California say they have a suspect in custody this morning after a pair of related shootings left 7 people dead on Monday. 4 people were killed at a mushroom farm and 3 at a trucking business, both near Half Moon Bay, south of San Francisco. It wasn't immediately clear how the locations were connected. 2 students were killed and 1 employee is in serious condition this morning after a shooting at a nonprofit educational program in Des Moines. Shortly after responding to the scene, police say they got a description of a vehicle related to that shooting and made a traffic stop about 20 minutes later 2 miles away. 3 people were taken into custody, but further information on the suspects has not been released. Safer classrooms, hallways, and auditoriums could be on the way for students and staff across Wisconsin. As McKenna Alexander reports, this extra level of safety is the goal of new standardized district training.
Safer education across all Wisconsin classrooms. That's the goal of the state DOJ's Office of School Safety, which on Monday began offering comprehensive crisis training on the standard response protocol and standard reunification method. The trainings essentially break down each level of a school crisis, with steps in place for each stage of threat, followed by an action plan for reuniting with parents and guardians once all is safe. Office of School Safety Director Trish Kiplin says that the new training works to reduce trauma among staff, students, and their families by adopting a thorough safety plan.
Kids and staff might not feel safe if they don't think that there is a master plan of what to do if something bad were to happen. Unfortunately, there's been too many incidents in our nation in this last period of time, and we need to make sure we learn from every tragedy that occurs and we improve our practices.
The one-day training is open to any community member of a participating school district and includes a mix of lectures and hands-on scenario practice. Those 8 hours of learning can be life-saving, as Kilpin stresses preparation is power.
I think it's important that we prepare schools in a trauma-informed way. So we want to make sure that we're no drama, no trauma with our drills, but we want to equip people, empower them to feel that there is a plan.
That was McKenna Alexander reporting. For more information on how school districts can request a day of safety training, you can visit the story at channel3000.com. We have an update this morning out of California. A flower and candle memorial is growing at the Star Dance Studio where the mass shooting happened over the weekend. Officials now calling a 26-year-old a hero after he likely stopped an attack at a second location. Police say 72-year-old Hu Can Tran used a semi-automatic pistol equipped with a large capacity magazine in that attack. After the shooting, Tran went to a second dance hall, and that's where 26-year-old Brandon Say wrestled the gun away from him. He told ABC News he thought he was going to die.
Something came over me. I realized I needed to get the weapon away from him.
Tran got away, but police say about 12 hours later he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound as officers closed in. This was America's 33rd mass shooting just this month. More local news at 6:09 this morning. The Dane County Humane Society's Wildlife Center needs your help with an unusual trio of birds. All in the same room, they've paired a pelican, a swan, and a goose with fractured wings. And while the feathered friends heal, they're asking for donations from you at home. Their pelican needs a constant supply of large fish, while the swan's food costs have skyrocketed due to a lettuce shortage. The Wildlife Center does not receive any government funding. 6:09 is your time. Coming up in the 6:08, we are tempting your taste buds with a great place to dine during Restaurant Week. See how one first-time participant is putting a fresh spin on coastal Italian cuisine. And the Badgers men's basketball team on the road at Northwestern after a postponed matchup. Could they pull off the win? In your morning sports.
Bob's presents Furniture Resolutions. Resolution number 44, exercise more. Exercise your right to snooze in a gorgeous bedroom at an affordable price like my Fusion two-tone bedroom. Bob's Discount Furniture. Furniture solutions to your resolutions.
Garage doors are just like us. They don't like the cold weather. But if it breaks, Precision Garage Door is always ready. We always show up in a fully stocked vehicle so we can get the job done today.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
Summer's coming, and so are those warm, relaxing weekends. No matter where your adventures take you, we've got you covered at the new Lake Home and Cabin Show, January 27 through 29 at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Whether you're staying at a vacation rental, towing a teardrop trailer to sleep under the stars, or heading to a beloved family cabin, you'll find everything for your getaway lifestyle at the Lake Home and Cabin Show, January 27 through 29, Alliant Energy Center. Every weekend should be this fun.
I'm Rebecca, and you might know me from reality TV.
And this was my stubborn body fat that I just couldn't get rid of. But then I went to Sono Bello, and they permanently removed my body fat in just one visit.
It is so intensely gratifying for one visit to make this big of a change. It's amazing.
Sono Bello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
It feels incredible to look down, and it's flat. Thank you again, Sono Bello. I'm so happy.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation and find out how you can get $250 off instantly. Call 1-800-595-1532 or go to sonobello.com.
This ring is a commitment. After we got married, I got very sick.
He will come every day to help me walk again.
And now I'm back. This is a reminder
that love endures all.
Express your extraordinary love. Jared, love brilliantly.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
Bob's presents Furniture Resolutions. Resolution number 7, dream big. Ask what your mattress can do for you. Can it give you Bob's comfort and quality for hundreds less than the national brands? Yes. Dream big with my Bobapedic Prize mattress. Bob's Discount Furniture.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
We're back at 6:13. Madison Restaurant Week is underway in the 608 right now. And this morning we're taking you inside one of the newest options taking part this year. Here's a look at what Amara is bringing to the table. It is Restaurant Week, and we're getting our first look inside Amara here at Hilldale Shopping Center. James Edis is with us this morning. And James, I mean, this is a beautiful space. You guys have been open for a few months now. How are things going?
They're going great. Couldn't be happier. I think we're definitely learning what it's like to be in the shopping center here at Hilldale. The Hilldale folks are just amazing to work with. And I think overall, I'm just feel incredibly proud for our staff and for, where we're at as a restaurant, and feeling good about it.
So new business, first time here, part of Restaurant Week. Yeah. You guys are excited.
Yeah, very excited. I think we put together some menus really featuring what we do, featuring, the flavors that we really are all about, that coastal kind of Mediterranean, contemporary Italian feel. And I think you kind of get a little bit of that vibe from the restaurant itself, and then it's really emulated also on the plate and on the table.
Yeah, you've transformed this space. So what can people expect when they step through your doors?
It's kind of our take on classic flavor combinations. see kind of throughout the Mediterranean. It is very much like our own take on it, though. So it's, if you're expecting like traditional, classic like Italian American cuisine, we're kind of pushing that a little bit, exploring some kind of different flavor profiles, and just kind of trying to get you know, our diners to experience a little more in terms of flavor.
You know, you're all about your food here, but you also have a great bar, and you're a wine guy too.
Yes, yeah, I do all the wine for all the restaurants, and we are pretty wine focused here for sure. All wines kind of throughout the Mediterranean. Our bar program headed by Katie Nicholson, who's our beverage director. She does an incredible job putting together all these wonderful spritzes, kind of like a lot of low alcohol beverages, and a great free-spirited list as well.
All right, James.
Yeah.
So coming up here in our next segment, we're going to learn a little bit more about your restaurant week menu, and give us a little preview. What can people expect?
It's a prefix menu, which you come to expect with Restaurant Week. It is a shared experience, though. I think a lot of our menu normally is designed to be shared. So it's a 3-course prefix menu that's shared for 2 guests, but it can be kind of scaled.
James, thank you. We'll look forward to that coming up here. A brand new experience to enjoy in our next segment. Madison Restaurant Week runs through Friday. Some are even extending it into Saturday. You can find links with everything you need to know on Channel 3000. Remember to let me know what inspires you in the 608. Reach out either on social media or email for a chance to be featured. Kelly Slifka's here now with your first warn weather forecast. Kelly, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Josh. We are waking up to some cloudy weather this morning, and what we're watching now, looking at the clouds to be with us after that sunshine we saw yesterday. That's the first thing. Second thing are several chances of snow coming our way over the week. And each one of these systems that comes through is eventually going to bring in some of that Arctic air. That should be arriving this weekend, and temperatures really going to plummet next week. Probably the coldest we've seen, maybe even this entire season, even maybe colder than what we saw there right before Christmas. But now, first of all, we're talking about our first storm system that's coming in. Looks a long ways away, but it is going to take a track right across the plains. Now, it's going to be a little bit further south than what would really impact our weather, so we'll just get a brush of some of the snow. It will be affecting mainly Illinois into the Chicagoland area, Rockford, but southern Wisconsin will see some accumulation with that. This morning, it's not as cold as yesterday morning, upper 20s, around 30, not quite as breezy as what we saw yesterday as well. Winds are out of the west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're not going to see those 20-mile-per-hour winds like we saw yesterday. So just fairly cloudy today. Occasionally might see a break in the overcast, maybe a little bit of sun here and there, but mainly cloudy for the afternoon as temperatures climb into the lower 30s. So a seasonable day for us today is that wind will be out of the southwest. But by Wednesday morning, before you're headed off to work or school, some of that snow is starting to spread in from the south. Will be affecting the rush hour commute, and the snow will kind of just linger throughout the day. Nothing real heavy at any given time, but we can expect on and off snow showers right through the afternoon, so we could see some accumulation with that before it starts to wind down by Wednesday night. And then we're just kind of into some cloudy weather going into Thursday. Snowfall amounts maybe about 1 inch in the Madison area, but as you get closer toward the Illinois border, talking about 1 to 2 inches of snow. So we got the chance of snow developing going into tonight through tomorrow morning. Another chance on Friday, more accumulation with that. Then Saturday, another chance of some snow. And this will be a drier snow because look at those temperatures, only around 20. So it could cause some blowing and drifting with those winds. And then the thermometer plummets. Temperatures in the teens, overnight lows maybe dipping below 0 by Thursday morning.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Here's sports. Jordan Reed with your morning sports.
After a little schedule shuffle, Badger men's basketball finally gets its Big Ten battle with Northwestern, and Wisconsin is in a good spot heading into Evanston last night. They're fresh off a gritty win over Penn State. They have also won the last 7 meetings against the Wildcats. Both teams enter the night with identical records at 12-5. Now, it takes a bit for the Badgers to get into rhythm. They trail by 6 at halftime, but the second half, things start clicking. Connor Essien doing his thing in the corner, drains a triple to put UW on top, 3 of his 10 points on the night. Chucky Hepburn getting it done on both sides of the ball. He turns defense into offense to extend the Badgers' lead. But some missed opportunities by the Badgers and fouls in the final minutes of the game allow Northwestern to edge Wisconsin 66-63. Jordan Davis with a career-high 15 points. And the Badgers will try to bounce back on Wednesday night when they travel to Maryland. Tip-off is set for 6. Bucks starting off the week on a very high note. Drew Holiday named Eastern Conference Player of the Week, plus Giannis and Chris Middleton returned to action as the Bucks faced Detroit, and the Greek Freak did not miss a beat. He takes one from Drew Holiday, slams it home to make it an 18-point game in just the first quarter. Well, then seconds later, he's going to drill a three that's part of a 20-point opening quarter for Giannis. He goes on to drop 29 in his return, and the Bucks bounce back 150 to 130. Badger women's hockey is finally back to their winning ways. The team snapped its 5-game losing streak over the weekend while also breaking out the brooms against Minnesota State. Now, helping make all that happen, Cami Cronish, and that's why she's the WCHA goalie of the week. After making 49 saves on 50 shots against the Mavs, she is leading the league with a .98 save percentage, and Sunday's shutout marks her 6th of the season. As for the rankings, the Badgers are staying put once again in the USCHO poll at number 8. And Wisconsin football makes it official yesterday, announcing that Matt Mitchell will join the Badgers coaching staff and head the outside linebackers and special teams units. He spent 13 years at the helm of Grand Valley State, and over 12 seasons, he had a record of 117 and 31. Back to you.
Thank you, Jordan. 6:20 right now. Coming up, we're on Egg Watch, how rising egg prices are impacting security at the U.S.-Mexico border. We'll be right back.
Channel 3000 Plus. Watch from your streaming media player or mobile device.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
My name is Mike Williams. I've been driving school bus off and on for 21 years. Here at our terminal, we're kind of like a family, too. Somebody has an issue with a bus, other people kick in and help and get the job done.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
What? You mean...
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Wow. So sudden. We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage so we don't have to worry about it conversation.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan from Colonial Penn?
I am. We put it off long enough. We are getting that $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? I'm Jonathan from Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. Sometimes we just need a reminder not to take today for granted. It could be the death of someone you know or a health scare. That's why today could be a great day to call for free information about Colonial Penn's $9.95 plan. If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions, so you can't be turned down for any health reason. This is permanent coverage. Just pay your premiums for lifelong security. The $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life plan. Options start at just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate can never go up. It's locked in for life. Don't put it off. Take the first easy step. Call today for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. So call now.
Call 1-800-290-3399 for your free information and free gift. That's 1-800-290-3399. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-290-3399. 1-800-290-3399. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn?
Add style to any room with Armstrong Flooring from Menards. Adiamo offers durable, self-adhering vinyl tile that performs beautifully in high-traffic areas, while its limited lifetime warranty gives you an extra sense of security. Adiamo 12x12 vinyl tiles are just $139 each. Show off your new flooring with Sylvania recessed lighting. Its ultra-thin design fits flush against the surface, making it quick and easy to install. Get a recessed Sylvania lighting for just $19.99 at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Cobeson Buses, now hiring.
Working with Cobeson, it's definitely been great because of the flexibility. If you do need time off, they work around you. They definitely try to make it a company that's based for you.
Visit Cobeson.com to apply.
Welcome back, 6:24. Take a look at this photo sent in by Kevin. We got some nice sunshine to start off the week.
Yeah.
Taking a little sun.
Maybe that was, no, it was not yesterday. It was cloudy.
I think this was probably the last time that we had some sun.
Which was probably almost a month ago.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute or a cold minute since then. So we appreciate Kevin sending in a little sunshine for us when we need it the most. All you have to do is send in your pictures using the hashtag MyNews3Morning, and we'll share them around this time every morning. Well, we are on Egg Watch this morning. Look at that new swipe. I am loving this as we're talking about that nationwide egg shortage that's leading to empty store shelves and sky-high prices, and that is growing. As an egg shortage sends prices for the breakfast staples soaring, some Americans are taking matters into their own hands this morning. U.S. Customs officials say attempts to bring eggs into the U.S. from Mexico are rising. The director of field operations warns trying to cross with uncooked eggs without informing a border official is illegal, and it could cost you up to $10,000. So don't do it, folks. Instead of scrambling to find some eggs, some people are even looking at raising their own backyard hens.
Wow. Never thought I'd hear that. Smuggling eggs.
I didn't know that was a thing.
It is now, I guess, with prices.
$10,000? But I mean, people are desperate. It's insane. I mean, I saw the other day $5.99 at a store I was shopping at for a dozen eggs, and I remember when I was able to get that for under $1.
Like a buck, yeah.
That's an impact, especially if you have a big family,
And it's been like a long duration too. It seems like we've had these high egg prices for quite a while now, but here we are.
Yeah, for a couple of folks that love breakfast too, that's not a good sign.
I know. Can't wait to have my omelet this morning.
Oh, I always love some eggs. All right, how's that forecast? Is it looking excellent?
Oh, I don't know where to go with that. So I'll go nowhere. I'll go right to the weather. It's not quite as cold this morning, but it is chilly. Temperatures in the 20s. We'll need a jacket this morning, but looking at low 30s today, things will be pretty quiet today. It's actually going into the weekend that we'll see some snow chances coming away.
All right, enough yoking around.
No,
we'll be right back.
It never ends.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
What can Sono Bello do for you? How about a new shape?
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
New confidence.
I can see a huge difference. Look at this.
New you.
I can wear a little black dress. I feel sexy.
With Sono Bello, you can permanently remove stubborn fat in just one visit. Don't wait. The results I've seen achieved are truly outstanding.
Schedule your free, no-obligation consultation with Sono Bello, America's #1 cosmetic surgery specialist, and find out how you can get $250 off. Sono Bello uses Tri-Sculpt micro-laser liposuction to remove your diet-resistant fat cells permanently for incredible transformations in just one visit.
I have one big regret. I didn't go sooner.
Call 1-888-622-8360 or go to sonobello.com.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes without whitening strips or trays.
The Power Swabs were so easy to use. I don't have to have strips sitting on my face for an hour. I don't have to have a foam tray where I feel like I'm going to gag or I'm going to go play football. I've tried like every over-the-counter whitening because, I'm one of those people that like obsessed with white teeth.
So with the strips I've used in the past, most of them are like you got to leave it on for 30 minutes and the whole experience is just not comfortable. But with Power Swabs, I just snapped it open and rubbed it on and it was good to go.
This didn't sting, it didn't burn, it didn't have an aftertaste. It was just a swab and I just got to rub it on my teeth, and that was it.
The Secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth. No more sitting at home with a whitening strip or tray in your mouth for 30 minutes twice a day.
When I used these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain, and I'm like, I hate this. So why do I have to go through the monstrosity of this pain just because I want to whiten my teeth. With power swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Within the first day with the power swab, I noticed there was a difference. I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. Whiten your teeth this new year by ordering power swabs and receive up to 50% off the regular price. Yes, 50% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
This morning, State of the State. Governor Evers set to make his address to Wisconsin later today. Our political team has a preview of what we can expect. Plus, why safer classrooms, hallways, and auditoriums could be on the way for students and staff across our state.
And the winds have diminished, but the clouds have now moved in. We're talking about some snow chances this week as well.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to News 3 Now. This morning on a Tuesday morning, it is January 24th. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter alongside Kelly Slifka with your first warn weather forecast. Unfortunately, those clouds sticking around, and it's going to be kind of an active weather pattern this week.
Yeah, you know, we're going to get each of these storm systems. They're not real strong for us, but each one of them is just going to pound us, and then eventually we're going to get some cold weather on the last hurrah, which will be coming in this weekend. Now, in the meantime, it's not too bad this morning. Yesterday, we were in the teens and low 20s. Now we're around 30, upper 20s to around 30, so can't really complain for this time of January. This is typically some of the coldest weather we see all season, but it hasn't been so far this week. Winds are not as strong as they were yesterday. They're out of the west at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clouds have returned. They're going to be around for the rest of the week, and we've got a couple of storm systems that are going to be affecting us, one already by tomorrow morning, and then the last one that arrives this weekend will usher in that Arctic air. That'll really be brutal, it looks like, going into next week. So we're near 30 degrees, westerly winds currently at 6 miles per hour. Mostly cloudy sky, maybe a peak or two of sun, but nothing like we saw yesterday. Temperatures in low 30s by the noon hour. We'll talk more about those snow chances for the rest of the week coming up.
All right, Kelly, thank you. 6:31 happening tonight. Governor Evers will give his annual State of the State address to the Wisconsin legislature. Political reporter Will Keneally has a rundown of what to expect and how this event helps set the tone for a new legislative session.
This will be the governor's first State of the State address of his second term. And as to where the state is now, we will likely hear the governor tout accomplishments from his first term. Some of what we heard on the campaign trail as the reasons to re-elect him. There'll be things like infrastructure and road construction. Also likely Democrats' case on the issue of abortion. They've been pushing to get an abortion referendum on the April ballot in the last few weeks. This will continue the governor's push to get Republicans to overturn the state's abortion ban. This is also the second in a series of speeches that the governor is giving in his first few months of his second term. We'll hear his budget address in coming weeks. So we'd expect to hear tonight a preview of that budget address. Think things like school funding and how to spend the state's budget surplus. The response this year will be given by the Assembly Speaker, Robin Vos. We'll likely hear him push back on the governor's accomplishments, saying that Republicans are the ones that deserve the credit, especially for the previous budget. We'll have more coming up in our evening newscasts previewing the governor's address, and you can watch the full speech online at channel3000.com.
Will Keneally for us, thank you. The governor will deliver the speech at 7 tonight, and Republicans will then have their chance to have their rebuttal shortly after. Timer now 6:32. Former Justice Dan Kelly now has 3 pro-life endorsements in this spring's Supreme Court race. He's running in a 4-way primary, including against fellow conservative judge Jennifer Duro of Waukesha. Kelly says it is his judicial philosophy that has won the pro-life endorsements. He hasn't made any promises to the groups.
And so amongst those would be Wisconsin Family Action, Wisconsin Right to Life, and Pro-Life Wisconsin. And all 3 have endorsed me, not because I've made any commitments to them about how I would resolve cases, but because I tell them the same thing that I tell everyone else. When I decide a case, I set aside my politics and my personal preferences, and I follow the Constitution and our laws. And they say, that's the kind of justice we want.
For her part, Duro has received the endorsement of a coalition of law enforcement officials so far. They face liberal candidates Judge Janet Protasewicz and Judge Everett Mitchell. The top two from the February primary will face each other in the April general election. The state agent charged in the shooting of Quadron Wilson is due in court today. Mark Wagner is charged with endangering the public, something his attorney argues there's no evidence for. Agent Wagner shot Wilson 5 times. Wilson survived. The investigation showed he was not armed. Wagner is scheduled for an arraignment at 11:30. Also due in court this afternoon, a Madison man charged with multiple counts of trafficking children and sexual assault. 36-year-old Zachariah Singletary faces 24 charges, including 1 count of strangulation and 1 count of child abuse intentionally causing harm. Singletary's charges come from an October criminal complaint when he tried to have sex with multiple teens at a convenience store on State Street. He has a status conference at 1:30. The trial for Marcus Randall L. continues this morning in Rock County. The state's case is now over in the double homicide jury trial. In total so far, we've heard from 44 witnesses throughout the last 5 days. Monday, we heard from the lead investigator with the Janesville Police Department. He says despite no murder weapon or DNA evidence directly leading to Marcus Randall L. as the killer, there was still evidence there to ultimately charge him with the crime.
Throughout that process, there were several pieces of information or evidence that we obtained over the course of probably from February 10th through August of 2022, when our last supplemental report was submitted with this case.
We've seen that evidence over the past week, from surveillance footage to text messages and personal accounts from family and friends about the early morning hours of February 10th, 2020. Today, Randall L's defense team will begin to call their witnesses to the stand. That trial will resume at 9 this morning. We will continue following this until a verdict is reached. Developing right now, police in California say they have a suspect in custody this morning after a pair of related shootings left 7 people dead on Monday. 4 people were killed at a mushroom farm and 3 at a trucking business, both near Half Moon Bay, south of San Francisco. It wasn't immediately clear how the locations were connected. 2 students were killed and 1 employee in serious condition after a shooting at a nonprofit educational program in Des Moines. Shortly after responding to the scene, police say they got a description of a vehicle related to the shooting and made a traffic stop about 20 minutes later, 2 miles away. 3 people were taken into custody, but further information on the suspects has not been released. Safer classrooms, hallways, and auditoriums could be on the way for students and staff across our state. McKenna Alexander reports on how this extra level of safety is the goal of new standardized district training.
Safer education across all Wisconsin classrooms. That's the goal of the state DOJ's Office of School Safety, which on Monday began offering comprehensive crisis training on the standard response protocol and standard reunification method. The trainings essentially break down each level of a school crisis, with steps in place for each stage of threat, followed by an action plan for reuniting with parents and guardians once all is safe. Office of School Safety Director Trish Kiplin says that the new training works to reduce trauma among staff, students, and their families by adopting a thorough safety plan.
Kids and staff might not feel safe if they don't think that there is a master plan of what to do if something bad were to happen. Unfortunately, there's been too many incidents in our nation in this last period of time, and we need to make sure we learn from every tragedy that occurs and we improve our practices.
The one-day training is open to any community member of a participating school district and includes a mix of lectures and hands-on scenario practice. Those 8 hours of learning can be life-saving, as Kilpin stresses preparation is power.
I think it's important that we prepare schools in a trauma-informed way. So we want to make sure that we're no drama, no trauma with our drills, but we want to equip people, empower them to feel that there is a plan.
That was McKenna Alexander reporting. For more information on how school districts can request a day of safety training, you can visit the story at channel3000.com. An update this morning out of California, where a flower and candle memorial is growing at the Star Dance Studio. This is where the mass shooting happened over the weekend. Officials are now calling a 26-year-old a hero after he likely stopped an attack at a second location. Police say 72-year-old Hucan Tran used a semi-automatic pistol equipped with a large capacity magazine in that attack. After the shooting, Tran went to a second dance hall, and that's where 26-year-old Brandon Say wrestled the gun away from him. He told ABC News he thought he was going to die.
Something came over me. I realized I needed to get the weapon away from him.
Tran got away, but police say about 12 hours later he died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound as officers closed in. This was America's 33rd mass shooting this month. Coming up on 6:39 right now on a Tuesday morning, live look at the Capitol. The clouds returning today, unfortunately, after some sunshine to start the week. And Kelly's talking about some chances for snow before some brutal cold in his first warm forecast. And if you think if your dog has what it takes to help patients at UW Health, why you should maybe apply for a newly launched Caring Canines program. We'll be right back.
With Pick and Save Fresh Perks, it's easy to get lower than low prices for the win. Earn fuel points on every purchase and save up to $1 a gallon at the pump. With Pick and Save fuel points, all you do is win big savings. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Brien, owner of The Healthy Place. I'm excited to tell you about our new Wild Theory CBD products that will get you high fives from everyone you know. Wild Theory's new groundbreaking formula has higher levels of the good stuff, and it packs surprising results. Is it legal in Wisconsin? Of course. Is it potent? You bet. Will you love it? I'm sure of it. Stop by one of our Madison locations or visit findyourhealthyplace.com, type in high five, and our website will hook you up.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. Call today for free information.
Call 800-550-5543.
I was born here, I'm from here, and I'm never leaving here. I'm a New York hotel. Yeah, I'm tall, 563 feet, 2 inches. I'm on top of the world. I'm looking for someone who needs a weekend in the city, who likes being in the middle of it all. You hungry? I know a place, and a few others nearby. It's the city that never sleeps. But hey, if you need a last-minute spot, I got you covered.
Garage doors do not like the cold weather at all. As soon as it gets cold, springs, parts will burn.
At Precision, we always come fully stocked. We're able to typically solve most garage door problems within a couple of hours.
Precision Door Service, a name you can trust.
With the Pick and Save app, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you get in our stores. So start your cart today. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Is your phone listening to your private conversations? I'll take a deep dive to discover who could be listening through your phone and the steps you can take to protect yourself and your privacy.
Keeping your private conversations private. Thursday on News 3 Now at 10.
News 3 Now and St. Vincent de Paul are collecting new and gently used blankets for our neighbors in need. You can drop them off at any Dane County St. Vincent de Paul store or participating area churches January 27th through the 29th. Please donate and recycle the warmth.
You're watching News 3 Now this morning.
We're back at 6:42. If you think your dog has what it takes to help patients, UW Health is encouraging dog owners to apply for the newly launched Caring Canines program. It is for volunteers and their dogs to make bedside visits and provide a calming influence, cuddle time, and a feeling of normalcy for patients and families during their stay at American Family Children's Hospital. The director says when they ask a child in the hospital who or what they miss the most, they often answer the family dog.
It's evidence-based, and the research is out there to show that dogs have an overwhelming amount of power to provide just wonderful security and safety. That emotional support that we get from physically petting a dog and from cuddle time is something that humans can't do.
Volunteers at American Family Children's Hospital must be at least 18 years of age, commit to at least 1 year of service, and bring their dog to visit at least 2 times a month.
morning.
Timer now 6:43. Let's get to Kelly Slifka now with your first warn of weather. Good morning, Kelly.
Yeah, good morning. We're definitely going to need something to cuddle with over the next week or so. We've got some really cold weather headed our way now. Meantime, seasonal for the next several days. Temperatures in the 20s to low 30s. But by the weekend, we're going to start to see these temperatures back off. And then next week, we haven't talked about the polar vortex yet this year. We might be talking about that next week. We do have snow chances coming Wednesday, Friday, then on Saturday. Saturday is going to be the ultimate punch that we're finally going to tap into some of that colder air. We will gradually see some accumulation, and when we start to see some of that really cold air come in, some of that could cause some blowing and drifting. Our first storm system, though, right now is still way down in the southwest over parts of New Mexico, moving in the panhandle of Texas, a lot of rain and then some snow in the panhandle. That's the storm system that's going to track across the plains, mainly staying south of Chicago, so that'll put the heaviest snow in Illinois and headed for the Chicagoland area, but we'll be close enough to get some accumulation with that. Temperatures this morning, not too bad, around 30, upper 20s to around 30 in Madison, 27 in Oregon, Stoughton, 25 in Rockdale, one of the colder spots this morning. Not as breezy as what we saw yesterday morning, but there is a wind out of the west, southwest, as high as 13 miles per hour right now in the Dells. So temperatures in the lower 30s this afternoon. Not bad for this time of January. A lot more cloud cover than what we saw yesterday. Obviously, we had that sun. And then going into a Wednesday morning, before the commute, we're going to start to see that snow spreading in from the south. So the morning commute, we will see a light accumulation that may be affecting the travel times. Then throughout the afternoon, can't rule out some snow showers. Heaviest snow staying to our south, but I think in the Madison area, we could be talking about an inch of snow here. Heavier amounts, though, down in the south. In fact, to some locations near Chicago, could be talking 2 to 4 inches. Then the bitterly cold air arrives with that cold air plunging out of Canada into the northern tier. So snow chances Wednesday, again Friday, Saturday. Then that cold air arrives with temperatures only in the teens next week.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Madison Restaurant Week is underway in the 608 right now, and this morning we're taking you inside one of the newest options taking part this year. I had some help with this segment. Here's a taste of what Amara is bringing to the table. So with Leah on maternity leave, she wasn't able to slide in on our food segment, so the one and only Shane Hogan is here.
I'm crashing the party this time.
You excited?
Yeah, look at this. Yeah, I cannot wait, and sorry, Leah.
Next time. Sorry, not sorry.
I'm going to take advantage of it.
Yeah,
right?
you're excited to check it out for Restaurant Week, and I want to bring in John Nodler right now. Looking at this table, John, things are looking fantastic. You guys are super excited to be part of Restaurant Week for the first time.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. We're super excited to be part of it and really showcase what we do with this Restaurant Week.
Why don't we talk a little bit about each dish here? What's in front of us, and why do you think this shows off your menu for Restaurant Week?
Everyone gets to start their meal with our bruschetta, which are, kind of our spreads served alongside Madison sourdough, grilled sourdough. We have our smoked whitefish on stracciatella, which is it's like that really creamy, it's the best part of burrata. And smoked whitefish, some pickled peppers, and some scallions. Over here we have nice avocado mash topped with kumquat relish, a little bit of Calabrian chili oil, and some blood orange oil to finish it off. So just really fresh, really vibrant, great way to start a meal. We have our 100-layer lasagna. It's layers of Italian sausage, smoked chili and tomato sauce, layered in with noodles, basil bechamel, and some Wisconsin Parmesan. That comes with a little fennel salad and some tomato sauce on the plate. And then, like I said, our beef cheek pakari, which is essentially an oversized rigatoni. It's really nice for, more rustic ragus like this. You get nice big chunks of the meat within the noodle, and the sauce really glazes it. And then, we have some more fresh, lighter options as well. We have our winter greens panzanella, just showcasing the season, showcasing what we do, having a very comforting yet very fresh kind of salad on the table as well. And then finally the ossobuco, which has become a pretty popular one here since we put it on in the winter. 19-ounce braised beef shank. You have that marrow bone still in there, so you can really dip some, a side of sourdough into that. It's on a root vegetable mash, a little fresh salad on the side, and then comes with some glazed carrots, a nice sweet and sour carrot reduction, and some potato roasties.
I like how you guys really pride yourself on local. There was a lot of local ingredients that you had mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we do try to source locally as much as possible. We're using Fox Heritage for a lot of the proteins. We work with a lot of local purveyors for our cheeses, like I said, the Wisconsin Parmesan. the stracciatella, and we really try, as much as we can for our volume and for this time of year to really bring in the products that really showcase what we like to do under that Wisconsin lens.
My mouth is watering.
I know. I was gonna say, what are you gonna dig into?
I mean, the lasagna looks incredible. We were watching them make it in the back, just finishing it off, and I was like, that's number one.
The fork is already in my hand. John, if you can hand me that pocker right there, that's what I'm going to be digging into. And Shane, what are you going after?
I'm taking that lasagna. I've been eyeing it since we got here.
Oh my gosh, this looks fantastic.
Thank you so much.
So John, if people are interested in checking you guys out for Restaurant Week, what do they need to know?
We're open 7 days a week. We are open for lunch starting at 11. Dinner starts at 5, and we do a great kind of, we call it our aperitivo hour between services, where you can come in and experience a great portion of the menu, some great drink specials, so we're basically open all day from 11 to close.
Wonderful. Well, John, thank you so much. This is delicious. Shout out to Shane for assisting me there with a tough job. I know Leah is watching this morning. Sorry, Leah, there were no leftovers. Madison Restaurant Week runs through Friday. Some are even extending it into Saturday. We've posted links with more information on who's participating on channel3000.com. 6:49 right now. Coming up in the morning sprint, the warning from UW-Madison police about a scam going around. But first, on this January 24th, we want to say happy birthday to Bennett and all the other kids turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with News 3 Now this morning. We'll be right back.
Sponsored by Three Bears Resort, Indoor Water Park and Conference Center in Warrens, Wisconsin.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
We asked people to give their honest feedback on how wrinkles around their eye area and under-eye puffiness looked after trying Tint and Tighten for the first time.
So with foundation, normally it just kind of, you just cover up and conceal things. But with Tint and Tighten, it actually changes the way the skin looks. The lines are actually gone. So you don't get any of that buildup within them and the creases that you normally would see when you wear foundation.
40s was a bit of a shocker for me because 40s, I noticed the skin under my eye is getting very loose. And then 50s hit. And I'm 54, and I really noticed the difference in the firmness of my skin here, and especially here. I'm glad there's products like Tint and Tighten out there so that I can just put this on and not worry about what I didn't do in my 40s, my 30s, and my 20s, and it looks like I always have. It's a pleasure, and it's actually a gift for anyone.
Tint and Tighten shrinks under-eye puffiness, smooths out wrinkles and fine lines around the eye area, and provides tinted coverage to hide dark circles and skin imperfections, making you look fresh and younger. Tint and Tighten is the only cosmetic that blends a beautiful tinted cream to cover uneven skin tone and dark circles with silicate technology that smooths out under-eye puffiness and wrinkles, making the skin around your eye area look flawless for up to 8 hours.
I will be turning 59 in June of this year. Using Tint and Tighten, for me, I'm actually very confident right now that my wrinkles won't be as obvious. It is giving me the support that I think reminds me that I'm at my best right now.
Finally, there's a tinted eye cream to cover dark circles and uneven skin tone. And since Tint and Tighten works in 10 minutes and lasts up to 8 hours, you can look your best without getting injections or fillers. Get beautiful, lightweight, tinted coverage, plus that smoother, younger, wrinkle-free look from years past in 10 minutes. A look that will make you feel beautiful and confident. Try it this new year for only $19.95. Plus, get free shipping and handling. Visit tintandtighten.com or call the number on your screen.
Now get an Escape, Edge, or Explorer SUV with 0% APR financing for 36 months, only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Stanton Optical is the best value in eye care. We did the math, people. For $79, you get all this. That costs over $400 at Lens Crafters, over $200 at Walmart, and over $150 at America's Best. When it comes to value, Stanton Optical is the top bird.
At SSM Health, hope is closer than ever.
It is 6:53, time for the morning sprint. The UW-Madison Police Department is warning people about a phone scam this morning. That department says it has gotten multiple reports of people getting calls that appear to come from a UW-PD phone number. Police say that scammers pose as a UW-PD employee and demand payment and personal information. Anyone who gets one of these calls should hang up right away. Police say if there's ever any doubt, to call them directly. The FDA meets Thursday to talk about a plan to make a COVID vaccine a regular shot every year for most Americans. Much like getting a flu shot, the FDA would assess what types of COVID are circulating and prepare a dose for that fall. Those with high risk factors may need 2 shots, but the goal for most would be 1 each year. The Verona Area School District has a new principal for their high school. In a statement, the district says Brian Cox brings 21 years of experience to the role as a science teacher, assistant principal, and principal at middle and high school levels. He also serves on the board of directors for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. CBS News is learning the FBI could expand its search for classified documents in President Biden's possession. This after several more documents were found at his home on Friday. Justice Department officials are considering searching other locations tied to President Biden. The White House says it is fully cooperating with the investigation. House Republicans are planning their own investigation. Richard Barnett was convicted of 8 counts, 4 of them felonies, for his role in the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol. Barnett is responsible for one of the most infamous images of that day, kicking his feet up on then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's desk. He will remain free until his sentencing in May. The most serious charge, obstructing an official proceeding, carries a maximum 20 years in prison. If you live on Madison's west side, the city wants to hear from you. That's anyone inside this map the city provided. Officials started a year-long planning process for the west side area to guide the next 10 years, and they're looking for your input at a series of meetings that kick off on February 6th. It is the first part of a new planning model the city adopted last fall. That model will guide changes to land, housing, and transit. Today, the entertainment ticketing industry is under scrutiny on Capitol Hill. A Senate panel will hear testimony from several witnesses, including the president and CFO of Live Nation, which merged with Ticketmaster back in 2010. Issues with the ticketing industry came to a head in November when a meltdown by Ticketmaster's website blocked Taylor Swift's fans from buying concert tickets. Live Nation is blaming bots and online secondary marketplaces for the fiasco, according to a statement by CBS. Well, the iconic Oscar Mayer Wienermobile will be on the UW campus this week, recruiting what they call fresh meat to drive the iconic vehicle. Applicants should have an appetite for adventure, ready to drive their own PR firm on wheels. You must have a college degree and driver's license. Kelly?
All right, thanks, Josh. We are looking at some clouds today. Temperatures right now are in the upper 20s to around 30, and we're looking at quite a few clouds today. Temperatures headed in the low 30s. Pretty quiet today, not as breezy as yesterday. Temperatures in the lower 30s today. Maybe a peak or 2 of sun, but we start to see some snow chances arriving tomorrow morning.
All right, Kelly, thank you. Thanks for joining us, folks. We're back with an update at 7:26. Make it a great day.